This week's Torah portion is named Toldot, which means generations. With Abraham's death, the story now shifts to the life of Isaac with his wife Rebekah and their two sons, Jacob and Esau. And beginning with this Torah portion, we first encounter an ongoing motif in the Torah. That is, the challenges which the previous generation faced would also be faced by later generations. For example, like Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah found themselves unable to have a child. In Genesis 25 it says, Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was barren, and the Lord answered him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And just as there was conflict between Abraham's sons Isaac and Ishmael, so too the sons of Isaac found themselves in conflict from the very beginning. The text says, the children struggled together within her. And Rebekah sought the Lord for an explanation, and the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples will be separated from your body, and one people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Jacob and Esau fathered 2 nations, Israel and Edom, respectively. Therefore, they represent them. Jacob and Esau were very different from each other, as it says in Genesis 25. When the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a peaceful man, living in tents. The implication here and in the larger story is that Jacob was a man more inclined towards the things of God, whereas Esau was more inclined to the things of the world, so to speak. Being so different, the brothers often found themselves in conflict with one another. In this week's Torah portion alone, we read of the story of how Esau sold his birthright to Jacob and how Jacob tricked Isaac into giving him his blessing instead of Esau. As a result, the text says, so Esau bore a grudge against Jacob. This grudge manifested itself into future generations as the people of Edom seemed to consistently be a source of conflict for the people of Israel. Interestingly, because the Edomites were so easily identified with a source of conflict for Israel, the rabbis of the late 1st century and on associated Edom with Rome, the Roman Empire, which controlled the land of Israel and was a constant source of conflict for them. And as time passed and the Gentile Christian church became intertwined with the Roman Empire, the rabbis would refer to Gentile Christianity as Edom. This association is not totally off base. Over the centuries, as we Gentile Christians drifted away from Judaism, we became more like Edom and less like Israel. Like how Edom's religious life included worship of the Lord among pagan practices, we Christians still worship the God of Abraham, but we did so in our own way, mixing in pagan traditions and customs with biblical ones. Furthermore, instead of being a source of support for the Jewish people, we Gentile Christians were often a source of conflict for them, with the worst example being our part in the Holocaust. Sadly, there are still elements of Edom in Gentile Christianity today, but we must remember it was not Esau who inherited the covenant promises, but Jacob. Isaac blessed Jacob with these words in Genesis 28, "May God Almighty bless you, that you may become an assembly of peoples." If we are to be the true church, the true assembly of God, we must count ourselves as part of the assembly of peoples that started with Jacob. And that is manifested in how we associate ourselves with the people of Israel and the commandments that God gave to them.